DJP number 16. We've obviously had a little bit of a change in scenery. I'm making sure that everything's working out because, new step tonight on YouTube and Facebook. This is a pretty new thing for me. I'm not really sure if it's working or not. I'm going to try and make sure, like, throughout the show that things are working correctly just because, I've never done this before. I didn't really have any help doing it. I just kind of had, I had a guy from the radio station, of course, help me set some of this stuff up. But when it comes to, the actual stream itself, this is brand new. So, that's the best thing about this show. It's all live. Everything happens on the spot. Live stories, live emotions, live with DJP. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, I was about to say let's get into it, but, I'm trying to make sure that this is actually working just because I don't want to be, all right, yeah, all right, we're good to go. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the playlist, November 2019, of course, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you couldn't figure that out, well, never mind. So, okay, let's start off with the very beginning of that month. So the very beginning of that month is where the picture from the Spotify playlist comes from of me on the Jumbotron doing this. So that game was very beginning of the month for the Ole Miss game. And if you look closely at that picture, I was actually wearing like a red and black shirt that day, which are Ole Miss's colors. Did not intend for that to happen. I thought the shirt that I had was actually Auburn colors. Turns out I was wrong. People got mad about it. But that was the first football game that I had ever sat in block seating. And I tell all my students from Camp War Eagle that they have to either do block seating or just to go to an entire Auburn football game and just go to one game, like especially an Iron Bowl. And this is the one time that I ever sat in block seating, so it was better seating, and I had to stay end to end from like an hour or two before kickoff until like after the alma mater was played. So I was in this stadium for a long time. And one of my friends that actually works like the video board, he found me on a camera. I'm going to put that away before I keep clicking and it gets annoying. But he found me, got me on the Jumbotron, and one of my friends, Matthew, snagged that picture. And I just love the picture. I don't know. I thought it was funny to have me on the Jumbotron. So this is like the start of the month. This is, let's see if I can go to my pictures real quick. Now that I've got a different computer to do this, I've got my laptop right here so I can see things a little bit better. So this is, well, I don't know the day. Fantastic. But very beginning of that month was just a really good start because we won the game. We weren't expecting to win the game. We won it towards the very end and won the game. And then the next morning, I had a 5K run. I don't know what got into me at this time of my life, but I started running all the time. So I had a PR with the 5K. So we're already on like it was a really good month for me. And, the music, I didn't even get into the music at all. But November Rain is the first song on the playlist because November Rain is seriously one of my favorite songs of all time. That's without a doubt like Sunday Selects material. If I had a playlist of stuff that was even better than the Sunday Selects, November Rain would be on there. Just because it's seriously probably my favorite classic rock song of all time. I'm going to talk a lot more about it next week because next week I'm planning on talking about my trip to Chicago. So any of my friends that are watching this that were on that trip with me know exactly like where, listening to it came from the drive up. And I'll get more into it just because the Chicago trip really deserves a lot more attention when I'm talking about it. And then we go to Turn the Page by Bob Seger. So I put Turn the Page on there because I was listening to it a lot at the time. I found this song in Grand Theft Auto 5, Los Santos Rock Radio. That video game, I've been playing that a little bit more recently, but just the music and the radio stations of that game, phenomenal. And I found it from that. And I put it on here because, this November was really like a big turning point for me. Because y'all have heard my like personal life struggles and whatever, stuff like that. I'll get more into it as we get into the show, but it was time for me to start a new chapter. And it's like, I'm looking at my notes here. And so I go from the Ole Miss game, and then like a week later is when I take my trip to Nashville. And this trip to Nashville, seriously, I think it's the most important trip that I've taken in a long time because I've taken a bunch of different trips. I'm taking a trip this weekend just to get out of town for a little while, but this trip kind of taught me a lot about originality, growing up, and enjoying being in the moment. And to get more into that, so I got a photo pass for a Hippocampus concert while I was up there. And Hippocampus was my favorite band that I discovered back in 2018. Y'all have heard about them before on the show. But, I just love their music. And, using connections to the radio station, I was able to get a photo pass. It's in my backpack. It's like a little sticker. I had to put it on my sweatpants whenever I was in there. But having a digital camera, okay, I had a digital camera. Everyone else that was in the photo pit had like the DSLR cameras, so I kind of felt like a fool. But the concert was on a Thursday night, so I drove up there. I remember that drive. I was so excited to get up there, and this kind of goes with the November rain because it rained like every single day that we were up there. It was freezing cold as well. Nashville is really cold at that time of the year, I guess. I don't even know hardly anything about the city. I love going there. I want to go back again sometime soon. But it was raining that first night that I got up there, that Thursday. Went to the concert that night. And, this is about to get a little bit more personal. But, so Hippocampus is a band from Minnesota. And I had dated a girl from Minnesota a couple months before. And, I didn't really expect to see her at this concert. But, I was doing my photo thing, and I was with one of my friends who I was staying with in Nashville, and I saw her there. And this kind of goes more into like the, turn the page, start something new, because I hadn't seen this girl. She went to a different school. I hadn't seen her in months. And I saw her there, and I could tell like something in me clicked. You're like, all right, that's all you needed. See him in person one more time, then you're done. Don't even have to worry about him anymore. And that really wasn't even my intention when I went to Nashville. Like, of course, that was kind of like a possibility floating around, like, in the back of my head. But actually seeing that, I'd feel bad saying her as that. But I don't know. It really was like a thing from, like, something just clicked in my head. You're like, all right, turn the page. Door was closed. I'm not really sure what it is, but, I have moments like this all the time where I'll be doing something and then I can just tell where it's like a pivotal moment, like that trip to Chicago, like living in quarantine by myself. I could just I figured a bunch of stuff out about myself. Like, I started doing this show, figured out how much I actually love doing this, but it's just one of those pivotal moments that you have. And I like sharing stuff like this just in case my audience, whether there is anyone in the audience. I really don't know what's going on right now with this computer program, this software, but ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the show, let me know. Send me a text, send me a Snapchat, whatever you want to do. Just let me know if you're enjoying the show so far. Well, I kind of got off track there, but, let me go back more into the concert because Hippocampus, I saw them in concert back in 2018 at Hangout Fest. Saw them that Sunday. It was way too hot out there. I really couldn't enjoy it. But, being able to have that photo pass, get up in the front row, like literally in the front where I could have untied the guy's shoestrings. Like, I've used that example time and time again when talking about this concert because I thought it was so much fun. It was seriously one of the, like, more pivotal concerts that I've been to. Just, like, pivotal moments. And the music honestly wasn't really like the best. Like, I love the band and I love live music, but it was more about like you're actually doing something that you could be doing like down the road. Like having that photo pass, even though it didn't really seem like that big of a thing because it was just like me with a digital camera. It was my first time ever doing it, but it was just something really cool. Like I felt like I was in the right place whenever I was doing this. And this kind of goes into that pivotal weekend for me of figuring out stuff about myself, like what I wanted to be, because I went up to Nashville to go to Formal with a close friend of mine. So concert night ends, and then this is Thursday night, and then Friday night is the night of Formal. So I really don't even remember what we did like all day. I really can't even think of it off the top of my head. I was looking through all my photos and stuff I probably just walked around the Belmont campus just because the campus is beautiful. I don't remember what all I was doing, but we had formal that night. And I've been to a few formal events with Auburn University, and I've been to prom, of course. A lot of people went to prom. Sorry for my students that didn't get a prom this year. If any of y'all are watching, I'm sorry. But, you know, this is Belmont University, and it's just super. It's nothing like Auburn University. If there was one school that I'd go to that wasn't here, it'd probably be there, just because I love the school. I loved it, everything about it when I went up there that weekend, of course. And I'm so used to how formal here, everyone dresses the exact same. Tuxedo with the rental shoes, everything looks the exact same. But there was something about this crowd of people that we were with there. Like there were guys wearing tuxedos with high top Chuck Taylors, or there were guys wearing the Pit Viper glasses, or just stuff that I'd never seen before. And it really taught me something about originality. Because I made the joke about wanting to wear my Timberlands with my tuxedo, and I was thinking, nah, I'm going to look ridiculous. But whenever I got to the formal, this super nice venue out in Brentwood, I just noticed everyone was having the time of their life, and they weren't worried about like what they were wearing. Because I feel like that's just, I don't know, maybe I just think about it too hard, but it was really cool getting to see all these people just doing whatever they wanted, wearing what they wanted because it's their formal. They're going to do whatever they want. And it's a lot better than any other Auburn University formal I've ever been to. Sorry for any girl that I've ever, been on a formal date with, but this Belmont one blew it out of the water. Simple as that. But, that was just a really good weekend for me. Getting to go up there, getting to do the photo shoot thing, get to go to this formal. And I met a lot of cool people up there because my friend Caroline knows a lot of different people at the university, and I made some new friends up there. Like, I still talk to these guys, and I've only met them, like, one weekend. Like, we're probably going to, I don't know, we'll plan some kind of Nashville weekend, maybe in the fall. Depends on the coronavirus, depends on the whole situation. But, I remember driving home. That drive home, I listened to a bunch of different music. Like, let me go more into the playlist, because I really have kind of strayed from the playlist right now. I'll get more into it in a second. But I remember driving home, and this is more about, like, that turn the page thing, and I was like, I was in the right place at the right time, wasn't I? I could just kind of think to myself and tell that I was doing the right thing whenever I was up there. Because, all throughout freshman year, I was still trying to figure out, like, what I wanted to be, what I was going to do. But, my sophomore year, I obviously did a lot of character development, really kind of figured out a lot of stuff about myself, what I want to do, who I want to be, where I want to be. Obviously, if I hadn't figured that out, we wouldn't be doing this show right now. We wouldn't be 16 episodes in to live stories, live emotions, live with DJP. That wouldn't be a thing if I hadn't gone up to Nashville and taken those photos at a Hippocampus concert. And, I'm kind of like running out of words to say at this point, but, it's like, I feel like I'm having another one of these pivotal moments of just kind of understanding, like, maybe I'm doing the right thing. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because nothing really brought me as much pure joy as getting to do the photo shoot, getting to do shows like this compared to being in a business class. Because, this is nothing against education or the university, but, I feel like I can learn a lot more from doing a photo op at a concert or doing a show like this and really learning all this stuff. Because y'all really can't see this board in front of me. I got my computer, got another computer right here, but I'm in a whole control room. You can't teach this in a business class. And I don't want to switch majors because I feel like I can use this to my advantage someday of having all these skills and having that degree. But, for anyone out there who's watching this and you're thinking, maybe I'm not sure what I want to do something that you really want to do, whether it's for your degree, for yourself, or whether it's just like to take a weekend break, just to take off and think for a little while. Go for it. If you're looking for a sign, that's it. Well, I mean, you obviously can't hear the snap from the camera because I have to snap right by the microphone. But yeah, it was just really one of those great moments for me to be able to do that. I really started a new chapter. Like, I'm gonna turn the page right now. A little ASMR for y'all with the microphone. But after that, we had the Weagle session, and I showed a bunch of pictures on my Instagram on Monday, kind of like a sneak peek as to what we were going to be talking about tonight. And the Weagle session was we have the studio, like recording studio, I guess you could call it. It's really, we call it the bullpen because that's where we all hang out at the radio station. But I have some friends of mine that live in Birmingham that are in a band, Three Odd Dogs. Guys, if you're watching this, shout out Three Odd Dogs. Birmingham-based jam band. They're fantastic. Three of the best, some of the most talented musicians I know. So I loved like being able to be around them when they're playing instruments because, let's see, let me look into the music a little bit, see if I have anything about them in here. No, I really don't. Because, I don't think they have any music on Spotify yet. If they do, I'm sorry that I haven't listened to it. I believe that they do not. But, I remember the first time I went and listened to them live was on complete accident. I had taken a Birmingham weekend trip to go visit one of my friends who's in this band. And I walk into the house and I see that they've got like a whole band set up. And he had told me that they had kind of been jamming out, doing stuff like that. And I was like, all right, yeah, that's pretty cool. But whenever I get in there, it was like 11 o'clock at night. And we all hung out until like probably 2 in the morning. And they started playing music at like 1:30. And like I said, it was one of those things like I love live music. And being able to experience that live music with some of your like closer friends, watching them play really kind of helped me get back into playing music because I've been playing guitar since I was probably 9 years old, third grade. I started taking guitar lessons in the third grade with our music teacher at my grade school. That didn't last very long. Well, I did it for a few years, and then I would play guitar. I play like my acoustic guitar at the church services that we had every Wednesday. Yeah, that didn't last after I got into high school because I took like lessons at like a third party place, whatever, guitar shop. I don't even know what it was. But I got into high school and I was thinking like I'm too cool for that. And then I started skateboarding. Yeah, however that works. But let me go back into talking about Birmingham. But seeing some of my friends play these instruments and they were having the best time, and it told me like, hey, go pick up your guitar whenever you get back home on Sunday. So I remember getting back home and I started playing the guitar, and it's not like I was better than I was back then. Like I was kind of like the same level, but I started playing almost every day after that. And I still play pretty often. I was playing earlier in the studio right next to us, but I'm really glad that this Hippocampus concert happened to me because it helped me figure things out of dive into music. Don't dive into something that you don't want to do. Like business, I'd be okay. I don't want to settle into business. Like, of course I want to do business, but I'm talking about just the white collar, just the kind of the basic stuff, the career tracks that the university puts you on, depending on your major. I don't want to go into some boring professional sales 9 to 5. I want to do something where I get to do something like this, and I get to express how I feel to y'all. I get to be a part of this. Y'all get to see my cool little thing. Yeah, I didn't even get to explain where I am. Obviously, you guys know what it is because you can see the microphone. You can see the whiteboard behind us. You can see that. I did all this. I drew that. I put the guitar back there. You can't really see it. That's actually our previous station manager's guitar. Put that in here just because it made the wall look good. I did all this last semester, this spring semester. So not like last semester, but in the spring. One day, I just came in here and I was like, all right, makeover time. Spent probably 2, 3, 4 hours that day. And then I came back the next day and kind of did it. And then towards the end of the week, it was pretty full towards the end of the week. And then after that week, I was told like, hey, don't be putting any holes in walls. So I kind of had to chill out for a little while. Pretty much everything on this wall is just duct taped to the wall now. So it's really not like that big of a deal. But, I wanted to leave my mark on this place in some way, shape, or form. And I believe that I'm doing that right now with doing this show, with tricking this place out. like I said, I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And if you disagree, let's talk about it. I kind of want to hear other people's perspectives on it. But I'm gonna get more into the music because really haven't even gone into the music at all tonight. I feel bad for that, but like I say, this is live stories and live emotions. We'll tell stories. We'll talk about music. Last week I got really into the music in every way, shape, and form. I'm gonna do that more next week, of course, with doing the Chicago show because there was like music we'd listen to on the car ride. You're in the car for 15 hours. You're obviously gonna hear some songs more than once, which we did. But let me get into it. So we have Forever by Pete Drake. This song's from like late 60s, maybe early 50s. This is like some of the original usage of the talk box. So the talk box is one of my favorite effects, probably my favorite sound effect that you can make with an instrument. And my favorite song that it's used other than this has to be Peter Frampton's Show Me the Way. But this song is like where it started. Forever by Pete Drake. I had someone send me this song from whenever I used to do like the Facebook Lives on my cell phone. I'd have it set up, and someone told me, it's like, oh, if you like the talk box, and check this song out. And I love this song, and I saved it back in my Spotify, like my liked songs back in November. So it ended up on the playlist because that's really where all this music comes from, is music that was in my liked songs, and I checked the dates of when it was. Sure enough, ended up being during November. Then we have No Cocaine by Slightly Stupid, because I've talked about Slightly Stupid a couple times on the show before. I love the band, and I had never heard this song until one of my really close childhood friends showed it to me. So Chris Small, y'all have heard about him before on the show. Shout out Chris. He might actually be watching this tonight. I'm not sure if he's on YouTube. If he's on what I don't even know what's going on. But, I'm getting texts now. I'm checking my phone finally. Thank everyone for tuning in, paying attention, listening to me talk, listening to me rant. And I'm going to talk more about how it's even possible that I can do this next week, because I was making a joke about it earlier to someone. But let me get back into the music. But, Chris showed me this, and I listen to this song every time that I go home and I get on the boat. Because the therapy for me of going home is to be able to be on the water, away from like my house, because I don't have any problem with my own house or my own home, but being able to just be on the water, more isolated out there, don't have to deal with anyone, is so nice. And I have some island music. I've got a playlist made specifically for being on the boat. It's like Caribbean music, like Red Wine by UB40. You got some Jimmy Buffett in there, Bob Marley, all kinds of stuff. And you can't have a playlist like that without Slightly Stupid on it. No Cocaine, Slightly Stupid. And then we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I even know how to count? No, I do not. So that was only 5 songs. So I have like 5 different Hippocampus songs saved on here, and none of them are from Landmark. Landmark was the album that I discovered back in 2018. And Landmark's seriously one of my favorite albums of all time. But, I was thinking, I'm going to go to a Hippocampus concert. I want to be a real fan. I didn't care about knowing the words, just because I barely know the words to anything, any song at all. But, I wanted to listen to more of their music, get deeper into their discography. And my favorite one, it's one of their Spotify Studios recordings. It's called Baby. It's Spotify single. So go check that out. Feel free to do that. Then we have Last Snowstorm of the Year, Why Even Try, and Cellar Door, and the Halo Climb. So Cellar Door is probably another one of my favorites that I found from, this is Demos 2. Because I just learned how to play it on this guitar, like, literally just the other day. I was just chilling here, getting some work done, preparing for this, and I played the song on the radio. I was like, I think I can learn how to play that. And I remember listening to it back in November. This is back like when I was getting into music. And back then I couldn't figure it out because I had just gotten back into it. But, after all these months of kind of, developing, trying to get better, I've eventually figured it out. So Cellar Door, Hippocampus. Halo Climb's just another good song. That's actually their Instagram handle too, is @thehalocline. I don't know, like, I guess that comes from the song. I feel bad that I don't know all the information about it, but I'm not going to just spend all my time researching all this for a band that I'm probably gonna see in concert one more time. It really wasn't worth my time at the time. Then we have Beach House by Boy Pablo. So this is another song that I listened to a lot whenever I was really getting back into guitar. Because there's a guitar solo towards the end of this song, and I learned how to play it. This is one of the first songs that I learned when I got back into guitar. I haven't played it in a while, just because it's been a long time since November now. We're in the 7th month, so yeah, it's been 8, 9 months. It's been a while. I still pick it up occasionally and try and figure it out. Just play it by ear. I don't really like looking at tabs. I'm more of an improviser when it comes to playing music, but we'll see about it. Then In Bloom by Sturgill Simpson. So I have a friend of mine, my friend Seth. Y'all have heard about him before on the show from Rock Creek back in the old Rock Creek days. And he's a big Sturgill Simpson fan. And I never got into Sturgill. I don't know why. He's not bad at all. But this is like the one song that I really liked because I got into kind of a grunge phase in music. I'm going to talk about it next week because that was like during my grunge phase. And In Bloom was one of my favorite Nirvana songs. And then I see that a guy like Sturgill Simpson, who's heavily acclaimed. I don't even know what I'm saying, but people like Sturgill Simpson. He's pretty popular now. And, I saw In Bloom. I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I ended up loving it. I've listened to a couple other Sturgill songs. Haven't been like the biggest fan, but for me, it all has to be in the right time, right place for me to listen to a song and really enjoy it, be able to take it all in. Like November Rain, like I've listened to that song time and time again. I will listen to that song every single day until I die if I have to. Not really. I'd probably get pretty bored of it pretty fast. But, then we have It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. Because It Was a Good Day is another song I used to listen to with my buddy Reagan. He's one of the guys that's in that band. Because when we were in Birmingham, I don't know what it is, but when we go drive around, we would listen to all this like 90s hip hop music, like 90s rap. And this song, It Was a Good Day, was one of them. That, and I saw it on some Instagram video. I heard it, and I just loved the guitar kind of sound to it. I'm not going to try and mimic it and make a fool out of myself right now. But It Was a Good Day. It pretty much just describes that whole month. Like I'm saying, like we had the Nashville trip. I got on the Jumbotron. Being on the Jumbotron is pretty damn cool if you ask me. There's a curse word. Then, we had the legal session, and I was like in there with the session. I didn't even really get to describe what that was because I started going into the music. But let me dive into that. So we have bands come in, and they'll do recordings in here, and we'll promote it on like our medias, stuff like that. And these guys came in because, close friends of mine. I wanted to get them hooked up, get them some MP3 files, some wave files, just to have something, maybe start like an album, an EP, something like that. And it was so cool to be a part of that, be in the room while they're doing it. I got to do a lot of the camera work. Like those of y'all that saw the pictures on Instagram, like I took the pictures in there. I did some video work for them as well. And, it's just another thing. Like, I was figuring it out. Like that month of November was where I turned the page. I started that chapter. I'm like, all right, you know what you're doing now. And it's not like I really know what I'm doing every day. Like no one really has a complete handle on everything, especially with the state that the world's in right now. We're not going to get into that because that's not what this show's about. But, like doing that, being a part of this live music recording, getting to do the pictures, the videos, it was a good day. Ice Cube said it first. Well, I'm sure he wasn't the first person to ever say that he was having a good day. But, Ice Cube said it. It was a good day. Then we have Homesick by the Marcus King Band. So y'all have heard about my friend Sam time and time again. Sam never misses with a music suggestion. This dude always hits, like, it's always like 8, 9 out of 10. Like, it's always going to be an amazing song whenever he sends me something. And he showed me this song while we were playing golf whenever I went home one weekend in November. It was around the same time as Thanksgiving, I believe. And, Thanksgiving for me really wasn't even anything this past year. It was just, another time to go home, get to spend some time on the river, spend some time just away from Auburn. Because, you spend too much time in one place for a little while, you kind of feel suffocated unless it's a place that's huge and there's a bunch of different opportunities all the time. But, I'm only 20 years old. I don't really know exactly what I'm talking about at this point. But sometimes you do get homesick. Well, these lights over my head just went off. I don't know what happened. I think we may have just had a slight power outage or something like that in the student center. I have zero idea what just happened. It's only 9:30. Hold on, let me. Whatever that was. Yeah, you can see I'm watching the stream like with a little delay on there right now. But I told my students all summer long that going home isn't necessarily a bad thing. Going home all the time isn't exactly like the best thing whenever you're in college because you're taking a step towards becoming a real person. You need to start figuring things out for yourself and not go home every weekend, listen to what mom and dad are telling you. And this isn't anything against my parents at all, but it's just, I tried not to go home too much just because I wanted to become my own person, start my own thing here. But it's necessary to go home because you got to remember where you came from. You got to remember your roots. You got to know where you started whenever you were 1 years old or 0 years old. However, because some of my students, of course, had moved around their whole life. But, I've got like one of them that I was really close with. I've grown pretty close with him. And he's from like across the country. Like he lived all over the place. So, I mean, I don't know if he'll ever get to go home. And I hate that there are students that don't have this opportunity. And, obviously there's going to be a lot of students that probably have to stay home this year, just, with coronavirus. And there's no telling what the university is going to do. My students ask me like, do you know what's going to happen? I'm like, y'all find out the same day I'm going to find out. And there's other stuff that I'll find out, of course, from my advisors through camp. But, camp's over with now. So I've got a lot more time to, work my other job and spend time preparing to make this show as best as I can. And it's been a new experience doing the show in here. I keep looking like back and forth from the camera, computer, this computer, just because I really don't even know what to focus on at this point. But we have Homesick by the Marcus King Band. So remember, it's okay to go home, but don't go home too much. Don't get too attached to something like that, because sometimes like staying, it's like people that go to college and then work, they go to college away from home and then they move back home. I don't quite understand that all that much. And, it's not saying anything bad about that. But I feel like if you're going to move back home, maybe just get a job or go to university in your hometown. Just depends on your major. But you know what? Like I try and tell everyone, do whatever you want to do. Like, I don't care what anyone's doing. I'm not going to judge anyone for whatever they're doing as long as they're not hurting other people. Because, I was telling a friend of mine, like, one of the messages I try and spread on this show is to just love everything. Like, love everyone, love each other. Because, we're going through some growing pains right now. Not me. I'm talking about the country. I'm talking about the world. And I said I wasn't going to get into it. But, I kind of have to address it a little bit. Just because if I don't, I can't ignore the fact that the world's going through growing pains. But, growing pains are necessary. Like, things have to be uncomfortable for them to improve. That was one of the things I always heard from golf growing up was, if it feels uncomfortable, it means that you're doing the right thing, because that means that there's change. Change is okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. And then we're going to get more into the music, and I am going to talk about the Iron Bowl. I'm going to talk about it. I know people are probably waiting on me to talk about the Iron Bowl, because that was one of the greatest experiences ever. Absolute best way to end off the best month that I had in 2019. Because 2019 was seriously one of the worst years I've ever had. I don't like to talk about too much detail in it because, it was a bad time for me in my personal life. But we're going to talk about Trippie Redd. So Trippie Redd's a hip hop artist. So all of my Facebook audience, y'all who don't know like that I listen to rap music. Yeah, I listen to rap music too, not just classic rock. Like I listen to everything, y'all. So Trippie Redd's this guy. He's like my age, and I listened to his music a lot my freshman year of college. Got super into his music, so I'll always have that attachment to it and his music. And then he has this album, A Love Letter to You 4, came out in November of last year. These songs are really good, and his music's kind of depressing, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, I was going through a really happy time in my life, and, like, having this music kind of helped me, like stay grounded and like, hey, it's not always gonna be really great. Like you gotta be okay with the fact that bad stuff's gonna happen. Like you can't ignore the fact that bad things will happen in your life. So like that music is kind of like symbolism of, there's sad music on here, there's happy music on here, because life's a roller coaster. There's gonna be ups and downs. It's simply just how things are. Obviously, like I just talked about how the world's doing right now, and I'm not gonna keep getting into it. But I really like that album. There's like 3 or 4 songs that I specifically like, and that's Six Kiss, Lorray, and Love Me More. Those are my suggestions from that album. I can suggest any other Trippie Redd song if you guys ever want to talk about that. Talk to me whenever I'm not doing the show, because we're not going to go too long tonight. It's not looking like it. Depends on how long the Iron Bowl part takes. But, the last 2 songs on the playlist are Carry On and Devil in a New Dress. Devil in a New Dress was actually a December song. But I remember I heard it in November, and I didn't save it in my Spotify until like beginning of December. But Carry On by Fun. Just this kind of goes into more the thing of like life's a roller coaster. Like make sure that just carry on. There's going to be ups and downs, and this song is just absolutely amazing. It's got this crazy guitar solo in it towards the very end that I love. And this band Fun that wrote this song, they had one album that absolutely blew up, and then they fell off the face of the earth. Fun, wherever you guys are, please come back and drop another song like that if you guys are listening, which I can pretty much guarantee that you're not. But if in the off chance, do me a favor. Don't worry about that, but I just love that song, and I just try and provide the message of carry on, keep doing what you're doing. I'm talking to you. Yeah, I don't know who thinks that I'm talking to them. I'm talking to someone in that audience. I've got someone in my head that I'm talking to right now. I'll let y'all figure it out. Maybe you can discuss it amongst yourselves for whoever's watching. If people are, still watching. I don't know what's going on with this Restream software. I really need to get a little bit more familiar with it next time, because those of y'all who may have been paying attention probably noticed that I went live like 3 times earlier today. Yeah, that was complete accident. I hit stream on my studio software, and it streamed to my multi-stream software. It just kind of started doing the show with I didn't really know how to control it. We're gonna work on that for next week. And then last song, Devil in a New Dress. I gotta give 2 shout outs for this song. Henry Roden, Brilliant McHenry. Both work for WUGL, both on the staff, and like I remember we were talking about perfect albums one day. And my roommate and I disagree on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy all the time. I don't know why, but we always disagree on it. And it's not my favorite album of all time. There's a bunch of good songs on there, like Devil in a New Dress and then Runaway are back to back. And I'll talk about Runaway another time whenever I feel like talking about like running away from something or coming back from something, because I don't have enough symbolism for it tonight. I really don't even have that much symbolism for, Devil in a New Dress. I've been single for too long. I don't have anything girl-wise to talk about. Y'all can learn about all that drama and stuff another time. We're not even going to worry about that. But we're going to worry about talking about this song, because this is another song that got me really back into doing music, guitar. And I play guitar and the bass guitar now as well. And there's this guitar solo in Devil in a New Dress, and it seriously makes it the song that it is. It's just, the instrumentals in a lot of Kanye's music is what makes me love his music so much. Okay, these lights keep going out again. I really don't know what's happening right now with this. I don't know if someone's like pulling a prank on me right now or what the deal is. But, Kanye West, yeah, I'm not even going to embarrass myself. I am not going to get myself in trouble with talking about Kanye West right now. So, you know what? We've gone through pretty much the entire playlist. Feel free to check it out on Spotify. Listen to it. Remember the words that I've shared with all of you about each song. And, go for it someday. Maybe you want to listen to it. Maybe you don't. But, it's out there. It's for anyone who wants to listen to it. Feel free. Yeah, that's about it. But, let's get into the Iron Bowl. All right. Let me just, I'm not even going to worry about looking at pictures of it because the Iron Bowl was seriously the best possible way to end off the month of November. Because, we lost to Alabama last year. All right, here we go with these lights again. I don't want to have to stand up. But, this is kind of freaking me out a little bit that these lights are going off. But, are they going to come on? I'm glad that I have this lamp on behind me because otherwise I'd be in the complete dark right now. But, luckily I've got this lighting. So, I've never been to an Iron Bowl game until this, like been in the stadium. And, normally if we beat Alabama, we're going to do something crazy. We might run on the field. We might roll the corner. Okay, I'm hearing things now. This studio's freaking me out. Maybe this place is haunted. Maybe I'm about to get killed. But, at least I'm live on the air and y'all can see it happen. And, maybe the computer's going to die. There's no telling what is about to happen. I'm just trying to talk about the Iron Bowl right now. So, let's see. We went to one of my roommate's fraternity houses. Went there, hung out for a little while. Got into the game like at least an hour, maybe 2 hours early. I'm not sure how early it was. Just because it was a long, long day. I don't remember what time kickoff was. But, whenever you get into a game that's that packed, like the Iron Bowl, it's like you can't leave. Like once you sit down, like you're not going anywhere because there's going to be a whole lot of people there. People are going to be in the way. Simply how it was. And we stayed end to end. I thought I was going to leave at like the second or at halftime because, I didn't think we were going to win. I was thinking, all right, I'm about to give up. I'm actually dying right now. So I decided, I'll stick it out. It's going to be worth it. And, I also won a free pizza that day. I won a free pizza from a certain place. I'm not going to give them a shout out. I will eventually. But, I won a free pizza. I won a massive pizza. Literally, it was like this big. It was humongous. I don't even know if you can see that on the stream right now because I got like the monitors kind of messed up. But, I got a free pizza. We won the Iron Bowl. I got to run on the field. Seriously, one of the greatest football games that I've ever been to. Easily the most electrifying sporting event I've ever been a part of, other than maybe some Auburn basketball games. But, there's a difference between basketball and football. Football is going to have so many more people. Basketball is not going to have as much people, but it's in a closed environment. So, the acoustics of an enclosed environment is going to be completely different. But, man, just the camaraderie and just seeing the field get stormed, it's just something that you do not see often, especially with the way it ended. I believe, let's see, was it like a field goal? There was a field goal that like hit the post, maybe. I can't believe that I don't remember what happened at the end of the game. I just remember seeing this field, like running onto the field, being surrounded by all these people. Saw Sean Shivers after he, like absolutely demolished that guy that played for Alabama. Don't even know his name. Doesn't even matter what his name. He's a casual. I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding. Don't get mad. Sean Shivers did run that guy into the ground, though. And I remember being on the field and seeing the stands all completely empty. Like there was no one in the stands because everyone had either gotten out of there or they were on the field. And then I walked back to the stands and there were people eventually kind of like flooding out of the field onto the stands, trying to get out of there. Because, it's been a long day. Like, even though we just won, like, we're still all kind of like dying right now because how hot it is. It was a long day. Like, I remember it was hot on the Iron Bowl. Probably just because, it wasn't super hot. But, whenever you have all those layers on, it's going to be a pain. Got that pizza. We had a good night, and I woke up, and it was December. So, that's pretty much all I have. November 19. I didn't really end on the hottest note that I expected just because, the lights went out. I think the building's closed. That's probably what it is because, it's summertime, and they probably don't close. They probably closed at, like, 9:30. I can still get out of the building. If I can't, I'm probably going to say something, like ask someone to come get me. Stay tuned for more, I guess. I will see you all next week. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let's see if I can even end this stream the correct way. There's no telling if I'll be able to, just because I've never used this new software. But thank you, everyone, for watching, paying attention, being a part of the experience. Live stories, live emotions, live with DJP.